All right, everyone. Little different format. I'm supposed to record the news show every week, but I'm here with my good buddy Daniel, and I think we're just going to talk about all the fun stuff that happened
Yeah.
without even looking at the notes for the moment. Maybe we'll do a separate news show.
Totally unscripted.
Yeah, totally unscripted. So we were actually just sitting around talking, and we decided we were talking about so much fun stuff, we should record it. So we were talking about the latest video that you haven't seen yet.
That's right.
With Tone Vase, Willy Woo, and Kim.com all chatting. It was a 4-hour-long video, but somebody, I think it was bitcoinx.io or whatever guy, clipped it down to like 3 or 4 minute clip. Maybe we'll toss it in right here so you can see what I'm talking about, but Daniel hasn't seen it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Basically, Kim tells him like, hey, you guys should listen to Roger Ver. He has a lot of good ideas.
And if you believe it or not, Roger has some really good ideas. He's working on cool stuff in terms of security, privacy.
And you see both of them, they can't even look him in the eye. They start looking at the table and they're no longer able to look him in the eye. But they're in his house too. So like on the internet, they can just say be cash, be trash, and call a bunch of names. In person, you can't really do that, especially when it's a series of an entrepreneurs, Kim.com.
Yeah, they're guests in his house. They have to be polite, but I wonder if they'll take him up on his advice now.
In order to be a very successful cryptocurrency, you need to provide fast and cheap transactions.
Yeah, they're literally sitting in his house, so they can't like say any of their usual name calling. So it's a fantastic clip, worth this 3-minute watch or 4-minute watch. I don't think you need to watch the whole 4-hour clip, but the 3 minutes is really, really good. So
yeah, I don't have time for 4. I don't know who has time for a 4-hour interview.
No, but apparently some people do. So, what else are you most excited about, Daniel?
I'm excited to see a lot of price action in the past couple of weeks. I mean, state the obvious.
Hit $401 earlier today. Yeah,
Yeah.
on Bitcoin Cash. That's getting back up there.
I've been dollar cost averaging in, and I think the lowest I got in at was it went down to $183, and I think I got some at like $190 a few weeks ago. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't get in fast enough because it kept going up, and you wait for a pullback, and still
and it
waiting
keeps
for
running
a pullback.
up. Yeah, so it's still like 360 as we record this. By the time this is online, it'll be something totally different. But maybe that was the Kim.com bump we saw since yesterday and today. Like it's a really, really good clip. It's really nice to see someone that's you can't dispute Kim.com's like business credentials and the stuff he accomplished online, saying they're right in person to two Bitcoin maximalists, saying, hey, we need to be utility maximalists. People aren't going to use something that's slow, expensive, and unreliable. He literally, I think he used the words, you need something that's fast, you need something that's cheap to use, and you need something that's reliable. And
Fast and cheap.
almost sounded like listening to myself. So,
Well, it's also too right now we're seeing Bitcoin Cash. I mean, a lot of coins go up much faster than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going up too, but
Bitcoin was up like 1 or 2%, and
Yeah.
Bitcoin Cash was up like 40% or something.
So I think there's definitely more upside, which is something we've been saying for a long time.
And we should talk about Bitcoin SV on there. People always say
Yeah,
about it. Like,
yeah.
without biasing you with my opinion, what are your thoughts on BSV?
I just frankly I don't believe Craig Wright. So starting at that point, like why would I get into a whole project if I don't believe the basic premise that it was that this guy created Bitcoin, that he's Satoshi? If it's built off a lie, I don't really want to be involved. And so I think the price is going up, or started going up, much faster than every
Went up
other
higher
coin.
more than anything else in
Yeah.
the last week. Like it really did have a rocket ride.
But a lot of that's based on speculation that
He was about to get private keys for
Yeah,
billions of dollars worth of BTC, BCH, and BSV that he'd been promising the world for like the last 6 years or something.
That's right.
That he's going to be getting for a long time. For the last several years, he's been promising the whole world that in the beginning of 2020, I'm going to get the Tulip Trust bonded courier, and I'm going to have keys to a zillion bitcoins and this and that.
he said it under oath.
Under oath in
under
a court
oath
of law,
in the court
yeah,
case.
declaration, right?
Not
You're a
on-
lawyer, so
not
tell us.
only that he would get the addresses, but that he would get the private keys. It says that in
writing.
In writing, right? In some sworn affidavit under oath, under penalty of perjury. And so then his, he gets this contempt of court judgment against him. He's like lost the case basically because the judge thought he lied. His lawyers get it thrown out, and the court says, "Oh, we'll wait until February 3rd. If you have the keys by February 3rd, then."
Then we'll go from there.
Right,
but-
we'll have a trial. And so he files this thing, I think it was like a week or two ago, right before the price started to go up, saying that, we've got the keys and here are the addresses. But or he just said here are the addresses. He didn't say who the courier
private
was.
keys, yeah.
He didn't. And now they say apparently today they don't have the keys.
The private keys are very different than public keys. Everybody can see public keys for every address in the entire blockchain. That's what the blockchain is. Who has the private keys determines who actually controls those bitcoins and who can spin them.
So I think the market is right. Like a lot of people just hear this news, they haven't caught up with the case, and they think maybe he's telling the truth. He's going to sell all this Bitcoin into SV, and the Bitcoin people, didn't believe it because Bitcoin's been going up, but the SV people believed it.
I think a lot of people in China got fooled by that and thought he was going to have a whole bunch of Bitcoin coming up, and so we saw a big run up there too.
They don't understand the U.S. system or how it works, or they're the least likely to know, in detail what's going on. So,
and English isn't their first language either.
Yeah.
So, right, just like you speak Chinese really well, but for me, I don't speak Chinese. I don't know what's going on in China. Right? How can I follow it?
I speak Chinese. I still don't know what's going on half the time.
Yeah.
So the other thing too is I don't want to get into the realm of conspiracy theory, but Craig Wright and these guys had a settlement in that case back in like October. Then all of a sudden they said we're not going to settle, and the settlement was like not entered into. And now the price of BSV is much higher. So maybe they could sell some, get some money up for that settlement,
and then settle.
And now settle.
And then have some left over.
And then he'll settle the case, and then just continue. Well, we settled, Craig is Satoshi, and just continue on like they continue
Never
before.
mind the fact that they don't have the private keys.
Right, and that never gets looked into. Unless someone out there wants to, sue Craig for, intentional misrepresentation. If there's anyone out there who's bought BSV, because they believed Craig Wright was Satoshi, and you lost money and you're upset, please get in contact with us. We'd love to talk to you.
So speaking of lawsuits and that sort of thing, so a lot of people don't realize this, is there's still a zillion different lawsuits going on from Craig Wright and the BSV guys. They're suing everybody, right? They're suing me, they're suing Kraken, they're suing Vitalik, they're suing CZ of Binance, they're suing the Peter McCormick jerk, they're suing all these people, right? So
what happened with your lawsuit? Didn't it get thrown out like there was no jurisdiction or something?
Yeah, so I don't know what I should and shouldn't say because it's still somewhat ongoing, but long story short, it got thrown out of court, and Craig has to pay me the legal fees, but he's appealing all that, and I probably shouldn't talk in too much detail while the appeal is going on.
So you can just say you're appealing, but
I'm not appealing. Craig's appealing. I already won. Yeah,
Craig's appealing. Yeah, but the case was decided. I think I read it. There's like a public opinion out there, and basically Craig was forum shopping. He wanted to pick UK
because it's the most generous towards people complaining about people complaining on the internet.
For basically, he's suing for libel. You said Craig Wright is a liar and a fraud, and he's saying, well,
the court said it too, though.
Yeah,
right.
The court said it right in the U.S. They said he lied under oath.
Craig's calling the court a liar and a fraud now too.
But the reason he picked UK, for anyone watching, in the U.S. it's very hard because you're allowed to have an opinion. But in the UK, the burden is shifted.
You are no longer allowed to have an opinion. They took all the guns away from people in the UK, and now they'll raid your house over Facebook posts. So
you
don't
have
let
to
them take
prove
your guns away.
What you said is true. In the US, it's the other way around. They have to prove that you intended to harm them and all these things.
So can I just give like the U.S. court judge decision as proof that it's what I said is true? Because they basically called him a liar and a fraud.
I think that's pretty good evidence.
So BSV had a wild pump, but now it's on the way back down.
Yep.
I think we're going to see it go down even more once people realize he doesn't have the key and he's been lying about having the keys delivered for the last however many years it's been.
It's funny. There are these people tweeting about how, look what's going to happen to Bitcoin Cash when BSV passes it. Yeah, those tweets didn't age very well.
I'll tell you what happened. It motivated me to dig up some old wallets that had BSV in it, right? And then I sold them all for more Bitcoin Cash. So I got hundreds of additional Bitcoin Cash at a rate of, I got more than one Bitcoin Cash per BSV. So I guess lying isn't cool and deceiving the entire world isn't cool, but I traded on the lying and the deceiving. Am I going to get sued again for saying Craig was lying and deceiving? Maybe. So anyhow, BSV was more than Bitcoin Cash very briefly due to somebody lying and deceiving the world about it. And so I sold that BSV for more Bitcoin Cash. Thank you. So... yeah. Next subject, so I don't get sued again because I'm tired of lawsuits. But he's suing everybody, right? So what's one more
Surprised
lawsuit?
I haven't been sued yet.
Well, what's your last name, Daniel?
Don't tell him.
What other subjects do you want to chat about? There's so much fun stuff happening, right?
Good luck serving me process.
Yeah. We'll talk more about that off camera there here too. So Daniel's a good guy. Some people could mistake him for me sometimes, and they have in the past. Remember that?
Yeah.
They accused you of being my sock puppet account on like Reddit somewhere, and it's like, I don't have time for sock puppet accounts.
I've had that Reddit account for years. I've talked about lots of things with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think one of the like your Reddit account is like a Chinese sounding name. Like I don't speak any Chinese, I speak Japanese, and people are like it's even an Asian sounding name because like all Asians are the same or something.
Yeah, and someone posted a picture of you in Singapore. See, Roger's in Singapore a lot. There's a lot of Chinese people in Singapore. It makes sense.
Yeah, we're here in Tokyo today, and it's snowing and cold and dry, and can't wait to get out of here. It's so cold. Fun stuff. The Bitcoin. I know we've been promising and teasing it for quite a while, but the new Bitcoin.com wallet is really finally almost here. We had to refactor a bunch of stuff, but it's really, really close. Have you seen it in action or used it yet?
The cash shuffle built in?
The cash shuffle will be built in. Actually,
Perfect.
we might go straight to cash fusion, which is even better than cash shuffle, but that'll be built in as well, of course. Like the tokens are there, all sorts of fantastic stuff. There's another really fun one that's live on Bitcoin.com if you know exactly what subdomain to go to. I don't know if we're quite ready to announce that yet, but it's live on the website. I'll tell you after the camera's done, but we'll be announcing it really soon. It makes it so anybody can make their own SLP token in like 15 seconds or something like that. It's so easy, and then you can pay dividends to the token holders. You can do everything. So it's a really nice web wallet that's basically ready. What else? Anything else you want to cover there on our own Roger and Daniel's exciting topics of the week?
You got a free Julian shirt on.
Yeah, actually, I guess I should pitch this. So I got my, I'll show you a little bit on the camera. So I have my free Julian Assange shirt here because I'm about to film another video. So I bought a watch from a watchmaker here in Tokyo. It's been a couple months since I bought it because I've been so busy, but paid in Bitcoin Cash. This is the largest luxury watch retailer in all of Japan. It's called Yukizaki Gym Castle. They have, I don't know, maybe a dozen locations across Japan. If you look at the Bitcoin merchant map that's built into the Bitcoin.com wallet, you can see all these locations, and you can buy all sorts of really fancy watches there and pay for them all in Bitcoin Cash. And so I bought a watch, but I don't wear watches. I have an iPhone. I like iPhones more than I like watches. The last time I wore a watch, I think I was probably 20 years old, and I bought a fancy car, and getting into the car, I accidentally bumped the watch on the car, and I chipped the paint on the car a little bit. And I like cars much, much, much more than I like watches, so I've never worn a watch since then. But anyhow, I have this really fancy watch with a difficult name that's hard for me to pronounce. But I paid about $20,000 in Bitcoin Cash for this watch.
Wow.
So we're about to auction it off on a website called Charity Stars, and we're going to donate all the proceeds from that to WikiLeaks, right? Because a lot of people have been fooled by the government propaganda and think that Julian Assange is some sort of like bad guy. No, he's like one of the biggest heroes of the entire, last 100 years or 50 years or something. Like one of the best guys ever, basically. And the governments are basically trying to kill him. Like he's in jail right now, I think still in the UK, and they're trying to ship him to the US where they want him to die in prison. Hillary Clinton literally was talking about like using a drone to kill him at one point.
Yeah. So can't we just drone this guy? And everyone in the room thought she was joking. About 5 seconds later, they realized she was serious.
Dead serious. Kind of like that time when like Donald Trump in the room said like, I don't know, he's talking about Hillary, so I don't know, maybe there's something the Second Amendment people can do about her. And, like, everybody in the room assumed he was talking about shooting her.
Yeah.
And then later he backpedaled. He said, no, I was talking that they could lobby her. But man, like assassinating people isn't cool. Like don't assassinate people. And if anybody, like Julian Assange is one of the very last people in the entire world that should be assassinated because he's like busy telling the world what governments are busy doing.
He's a real journalist, unlike all the journalists you see on CNN and Fox and all these mainstream news stations.
That do nothing.
Yeah, they don't tell the real stories. They bury stories. Look at the Epstein story. They buried it.
Yeah.
You think Julian Assange would have sat on that story? No, it would have been posted immediately if they had it for everyone to read.
Yep.
So that's the age we live in.
Speaking of the mainstream media versus alternative media, so like all these other alternative medias are starting to be censored from YouTube. We saw a bunch of cryptocurrencies videos get censored from YouTube. One that hasn't been censored yet, and like I don't fully agree with his political views. Like I'm a voluntarist. I don't think we need a state. I think governments do far more harm than good. but I really, really enjoy his videos on YouTube. Have you seen Mark Dice? Do you know who this is?
Yeah.
So Mark Dice is like a conservative with a capital C, but his videos are fantastic on
they're really
YouTube
funny, yeah.
because he really lays into both the neocons and the liberals both, and he gets more views on most of his videos than most of the regular like CNN or Fox News anchors or any of these guys do. So if you haven't checked out Mark Dice's channel before he gets banned from YouTube, take a look. It's like, even though I don't agree with all of his politics, they are thoroughly entertaining, and it's probably just a matter of time until they ban him from YouTube as well for like having not politically correct opinions.
He trolls some CNN guy to his face about that. He said,
Yeah,
I get more views than you, and I'm just a guy at my kitchen table. You're on CNN.
That's right. That's exactly what he said.
See, this is how arrogant, Jim, this is how arrogant you guys are, though. I'm just a YouTuber on my laptop in my kitchen, and my book sold more than yours, Jim.
In person, he said to him. And then he just released some book. I forget the name of the book, but it was the other thing that, like, here's real news. So, like, I grew up in the U.S. I've been there my whole life. I always assumed that the New York Times bestseller list was actually a list of bestsellers, books that sold the most books that week. Isn't that what you would assume? Did we talk about this before?
No, but I know.
The New York Times bestseller list is a load of nonsense. It's a curated list. It's just books that they chose that they want to promote that week, and it has nothing to do with how many copies they actually sold. Like, wow, the New York Times bestseller list is a bunch of propaganda.
It's kind of false advertising if you
Right?
think about it.
It's not a bestseller list. It's a New York Times recommended list. Totally different. So shame on the New York Times for that. I guess...
It's propaganda. They pick something and they make everyone think that it's popular and everyone likes it.
Yeah.
When really just New York Times likes it.
So we need more like social media platforms that can't be censored and controlled. Like Memo.cash is a fun one. There's more and more out there. DTube, I guess, is doing some stuff. Yeah. What are your other blockchain social media? You have anything to recommend yet?
Those two are the...
We need better ones, so keep coming out with it. So.
And we need content creators to post on both. I mean, that's the problem.
Yeah.
You know, the internet was supposed to free everything, but everyone goes into Facebook and goes into YouTube and a few different sites, and they censor those, and then
Twitter, right?
And then the network effects are there, and so we got to reverse those network effects.
And we saw, like, and again, like, I definitely don't agree with everything Alex Jones says, but like, he was right. He was spot on about, like, they're going to censor the internet, they're going to control the media channels, and everybody called him a kook for doing it. They did exactly what he's been warning everybody for years, and now he's ripped off of YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, and he can't post on any of these things.
He was the first
exactly
one.
Right. Yeah.
He was like the first one they took down. They took him down first.
And then there wasn't enough pushback,
Yeah.
and now they started taking everybody else that's not nearly as extreme as Alex Jones. Yeah, he was just like the canary in the coal mine. The canary died, nobody did anything, so now they're shooting everybody else.
There's a pretty good Alex Jones video if you want, like right when they took him
Alex
down.
Jones videos.
Right after they took him off, he went and confronted Marco Rubio to his face, and he's just trolling Marco Rubio, and Marco's like trying to brush it off. It's like, who is this guy? What's this guy?
Marco Rubio and the Snake. Little frat boy here.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Who are you, man?
Yeah,
Who's
sure.
this guy? I swear to God, I
You
don't
better
know who
hope
you
you
are,
can
man.
deplatforming.
Find that video. Maybe we'll find it and drop it in the
links in the
link.
the description there. Yeah, just crazy how much control and we saw what a big effect it had within the cryptocurrency community, right? The big blockers were the vast majority of the Bitcoin community. Like Daniel, what year did you get involved in Bitcoin? Like 2012 or 13?
2012 is when I first started.
Yeah. So like Daniel's been around a long time too. You remember the big blockers were the vast majority of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Like we were like 80% probably, right? And the small blockers were like 20%, but the small blockers managed to have control of the social media platforms for this. And then when the censorship started, everybody that came to Bitcoin after the censorship started, they only heard one side of the story. And so all the new people became small blockers, and they thought, oh, big block's bad, Roger Ver evil, Roger Ver's never done anything to help Bitcoin, and just a bunch of nonsense. Just like the people that only watch CNN and Fox News, all they hear is like, Democrats bad, Republicans bad, depending on which channel you're watching. And then, but both channels, they always say, oh, government good, American government great, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think, whatever your opinion is, you're entitled to your opinion, but at least be informed. Listen to both sides with an uncritical mind and come to whatever decision you think is best.
Yeah. And that's why I like WikiLeaks so much, because they put out all the truth out there about the Republicans, the Democrats, the Americans, the North Koreans, about everybody out there. Then people can hear all the information and see all the information for themselves and make up their own mind. There's no way you can make up your own mind if other people are withholding the information from you and for preventing you from even being exposed to information or ideas. So I'm guessing you're not going to argue with those points.
No, I can't. I have nothing to argue with there.
Yeah. So, Yeah, I guess that's probably enough rambling. Any other topics you want to chat about while we got everything set up?
Let's see, what else? I think that's
Nope. All right.
maybe about it.
That's about it for the moment. So anyhow, check out the forthcoming video for the watch auction. The last time we did a charity auction, I donated the money to the Foundation for Economic Education, and somebody paid, I think it was about $80,000 just to have lunch with me. So thank you to that person. I don't know if he wants his name to be public, but he flew all the way from a foreign country to St. Kitts to have lunch with me and paid a huge amount of money to do that, and I really appreciate him doing that. This time we'll be donating the money for lunch with me and this really fancy watch that I bought in Bitcoin Cash here at Yukizaki Gym Castle in Tokyo. And we'll be donating all the money to WikiLeaks to help spread the truth and oppose the censorship that's going out there, not just in political news, but in cryptocurrency news, right? Our Bitcoin today is still 100% completely censored. Like, you cannot say anything that doesn't toe the party line. Oh, you know what else we need to chat about? Did you see these tweets from Adam Back, the CEO and founder of Blockstream, in the last day or two? Now he's trashing Lightning Network and saying nobody should use Lightning Network. They should use his liquid sidechains instead.
Isn't this
from
exactly
Blockstream.
what everyone said was going to happen? Right?
It's exactly what people like Olivier Jansen's called was going to happen, and a bunch of people predicted was going to happen. So they told everybody, don't use Bitcoin, use Lightning, while they were busy getting their liquid sidechains that they're going to charge people for and are somewhat permissioned. And then now suddenly that's getting close to being ready, and Lightning still isn't particularly ready. He's telling everybody, don't use Lightning, use Blockstream's product, their liquid sidechains instead. Like, what a scammy bait and switch. But I think that's part of why the Bitcoin Cash price has been going up today. But a lot of people are starting to see, like, wait a minute, you guys said we were supposed to use Lightning for the last couple of years, and now you're saying we shouldn't use Lightning, we should use liquid sidechains. What's next? The Pony Express? Come on now. So anyhow, like, the fact that he's not been willing to speak out strongly against the censorship, and his co-founder and CTO Greg Maxwell openly supports the censorship, I think that just shows like the community that supports free and open discussion and free and open ideas and free markets and free trade and opposes sanctions. The vast majority of those people are fans of Bitcoin Cash today, and that's why I'm busy working on Bitcoin Cash as well. So.
Yep, and you can be a fan of Bitcoin Cash and a fan of anything else that works.
Yeah, anything that works.
Anything that works is good.
If Lightning Network worked, I'd be its biggest promoter. I'd be out there making YouTube videos about Lightning Network and showing people how to set up wallets and how to use it. And that's another thing I want to talk about. All these poor people on the internet, like poor is in terms of knowledge, they're setting up Lightning wallets that aren't even wallets. They're no different than PayPal accounts. They're using these custodial Lightning wallets, and then they're sending, oh, look, I sent Lightning from my phone over your phone. No, you didn't do anything more interesting than using a PayPal account. And then they're busy bragging about it, and then like trying to tell their friends to do it too. Like, wow, you've missed the entire point of cryptocurrency if you're using custodial wallets. Like, go and use a wallet in which you control the private keys yourself, because then you're not going to be censored. And a fantastic example of that, of course, is the Bitcoin.com wallet.
Be your own bank, right?
Be your own bank. That was the slogan since like probably 2012 or 2013. That was the slogan on blockchain.info for people that were around before it was blockchain.com. So, yeah. All right, that's it for the moment. See you guys all in the next one. So.
See you guys.